One of the most common, yet least understood diagnoses in the medical community is autism spectrum disorder, known as ASD or simply autism. Most common because, as the Centers for Disease Control of May 3rd, 2014 explains, 1 in every 68 children in America will be diagnosed with ASD. Least understood because, as MayoClinic.org of June 3rd, 2014 points out, there is no known cause of ASD and no cure. However, our lack of understanding about ASD will prove more and more critical as this disorder becomes more and more prevalent. In recent decades, there has been an epidemic of ASD in America, as according to AutismSpeaks.org, updated daily, there has been a 10-fold increase in autism rates in this country over the last 40 years. And that increase cannot be explained by improved diagnosis or increased awareness alone. Just as there is a spectrum of autism that individuals are diagnosed, there is a spectrum of sorts in our medical community, with a wide variety of theories and hypotheses as to why autism occurs and what to do when it does. But what those impacted by the disorder want more than anything is the answer that science just can't seem to give them. That is, perhaps, until now. Because according to a group of scientists from the California Institute of Technology, those trying to understand both the origins and the treatments of the ASD should be looking not at the brain, but at the belly. Their research published in the microbiology journal Cell in December of 2013 revealed what they call the gut-brain connection that could prove critical in a reworking of our entire understanding of what causes ASD, how to treat it, and perhaps even how to prevent it from occurring at all. So today, in order to grasp the gut-brain connection theory, we must first examine our current theories regarding the origins and treatments of ASD. Next, examine how this new theory could revolutionize those present understandings before finally discussing the gutsy implications of where the theory could be leading us next. Initially, in order to grasp the gut-brain connection theory, we have to place it into the larger context of our current theories regarding ASD. To do this will require an examination first of our current theory about its causes, and second, our current diagnostic process. Initially, according to AutismSociety.org, copyright 2014, it's generally accepted in the medical community that autism is caused by an abnormality in the brain's structure or function. In turn, what causes that abnormality is commonly thought to be genetic. However, the National Autism Association, copyright 2014, insists that while there may be a genetic component to autism, there also must be an environmental component. They argue that genetics alone could not possibly explain these skyrocketing rates of ASD we've seen in recent years. And therefore, our current theory regarding ASD's causes is at best inadequate, and perhaps even inaccurate. Second, the current diagnostic process. According to MayoClinic.org, updated daily, in order for a child to be diagnosed with ASD, they must meet a specific set of criteria put forth in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, or the DSM-5. These include impaired communication, poor social engagement, and repetitive behaviors. Once a child is diagnosed with ASD, they're typically treated with a wide variety of therapies, ranging from behavioral to educational, and with medication, such as antidepressants, or in severe cases, antipsychotic medication. However, that Mayo Clinic article points out that there is no medication which improves the core signs of ASD, and that most children don't outgrow their symptoms through therapy. And therefore, the treatments put forth in our current diagnostic process are little more than an often unsuccessful attempt to merely manage the symptoms of ASD. Now that we understand our current inadequate theories regarding ASD, we can move into the fascinating new research that is helping to formulate a new hypothesis. Initially, we will examine the logic which undergirds recent research, and second, explore the latest study. Initially, according to a National Institute of Health survey published in 2011, children with ASD are 3.5 times more likely to suffer from chronic constipation or diarrhea than their non-autistic peers. Wondering why this might be, researchers from Arizona State University conducted a study in 2013 examining the bacteria in the feces of children with and without ASD. Researchers discovered substantial differences between these two groups in the abundance and diversity of their bacteria. And because their previous work had indicated that a diverse gut is a healthy gut, they had established at least a correlation between gastrointestinal disorders, autism spectrum disorders. Proving causation would be the work of Elaine Chao of the aforementioned California Institute of Technology. And therefore, second, we examine her study. According to ScienceDirect.com on December 19th, 2013, studies had shown that human mothers were twice as likely to give birth to a child who would develop ASD if they had suffered a severe viral or bacterial infection during their pregnancy. Using this concept, Chao and her team were able to induce ASD-like behavioral symptoms in baby mice, such as increased anxiety, aloofness in social situations, and obsessive grooming. But researchers discovered that long before they developed those symptoms, the mice developed intestinal hyperpermeability, or as it's more colloquially known, a leaky gut. Aussie.com of August 12, 2014 explains that leaky gut has been observed repeatedly in human beings with ASD. And therefore, the gut-brain connection theory states that molecules produced by bacteria within the gut permeate the lining of the intestines, enter the bloodstream, cross the blood-to-brain barrier, interfere with the brain's chemistry, and cause the symptoms of ASD. With this theoretical perspective, not only is autism not caused by genetics, it isn't even caused in our brains. Now that we understand both our current theoretical perspective and these fascinating new ideas the theory offers us, we can move into the theory's implications. Initially, once Chao and her team had discovered a cause for ASD in mice, they began looking for a treatment. And according to Medscape.com on December 15, 2013, they found one. That article points out that the human gut bacteria, Bacteroides fragilis, corrected leaky gut in mice by promoting the healing of their intestinal lining. It is believed this treatment would have the same exact effect on human beings with ASD. Bioscience.com on July 31, 2014 explains that while Bacteroides fragilis is not currently commercially available, there are probiotic trials for ASD children in the works beginning in 2015. However, as previously pointed out, Bacteroides fragilis is native to the human gut, meaning that the best way to unlock its potential is through fecal microbial transplants, or when the feces of an individual with the desired bacteria are infused directly into the digestive system of the person without it. As unusual and gross as that may sound, we might now finally have a way to eliminate a cause of ASD for the first time in human history. Second, we have to take a look at what's causing guts to leak in the first place. That way, rather than just treat it as a symptom, we can prevent it from occurring altogether. According to the rather appropriately named StopLeakyGut.org, copyright 2014, one of the primary offenders in the causation of leaky gut is the use of drugs, and the foremost offender amongst these drugs is antibiotics. This is because, as U.S. News and World Report of March 6, 2014 explains, antibiotics upset the delicate balance of bacteria within our guts by killing bacteria indiscriminately, which is especially the case with infants, whose microbiomes are still developing and highly fragile. In fact, according to a 2012 study published in the Journal of Pediatrics by a group of Finnish scientists and the University of Wisconsin-Madison, the use of antibiotics during and immediately following pregnancy are potential risk factors for that child to develop ASD. Further research is required to cement that link more firmly, but for now it's certainly worth asking ourselves if our skyrocketing rates of ASD are related to our incredibly high usage of antibiotics. In a noble quest to heal our children of various mild ailments, are we setting them up for a far more serious one? Today we have discussed the gut-brain connection theory in ASD by first examining our current theories regarding autism, next examining how this new theory could overturn our conventional wisdoms, before finally discussing the theory's implications. Autism is not a simple disorder, so there's no one theory that's got all of the answers. But by understanding the gut-brain connection theory and then following where it may lead us, science just might be able to give those with autism and their families an answer they can stomach.
That was very interesting.
Yeah.